Holy crap, it's already time for another edition of Always Bet on Jack and Zach, presented by Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona is an inclusive high-intensity fitness experience developed by the champ Floyd Money Mayweather himself, formulated with the perfect combination of boxing, strength, and cardio conditioning intervals designed to make you look good, feel good, and leave you with more than just a great sweat. Head on down to Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're also presented by BetOnline.ag. You can sign up for that 50% bonus using what promo code, Zach?
Capital BLEAV 50.
And that's the one with the enthusiasm. I love to hear it. Capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus. We're also presented by Eat Clean Phoenix, Arizona's #1 meal delivery service. You could order Tuesday through Sunday by using the website www.eatcleanphoenix.com or using their phone number 602-573-7643. That's 602-573-7643. We also got to give a special shout out to State 48, Arizona's hottest apparel company today. Head to state48.com for that apparel now. Again, it is Always Bet on Jack and Zach. It's episode 505 of the podcast. 505. Isn't that like a new movie that just came out? The 355.
Yeah, I was about to say, got the number wrong, but that was the best ad read you've ever had. That was energy.
Better than
right
last
there.
week's?
I think it was.
I thought you said last week's was the
That's what I'm
best that I ever
saying.
had.
You're like a Tom Brady of ad reads right now. You think you were at the peak, and then you're like, no. That's not the peak. Watch this. So that was great. Speaking of Tom Brady, we have a lot of NFL free agency news to get into. Lots happened in the 1 week, in the just the 2 weeks, right? It's the 2 weeks since the last episode. It's a lot.
I think
we've
we've skipped 2 weeks in the last 6 months in doing this segment on the show, and they were probably the two worst weeks to take off. It was Super Bowl week, and then it was March Madness week.
Oh yeah, but luckily, so let's talk about NFL free agency first, because there's a big thing. So let's talk about the most recent news. So Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, now traded for 5 first-round picks to the Miami Dolphins. This year's first, this year's second, this year's fourth, this year's sixth, next year's fourth, and next year's sixth. And they've already agreed to terms on a contract. Tyreek Hill's agreed to sign for 4 years, $120 million, $78 million guaranteed at the point of signing for a wide receiver. Wow, Miami gave up a lot for it, but man, I can't believe Kansas City let him go. And I think this is because of Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams changed the market. Just signed for $28 million a year with the Raiders. I think now receivers are going to be way more expensive moving forward after that. So that's, I don't know. What do you think about? Does that change your mind on like Miami's projection for the season on the Kansas City?
They're making moves. They're making big moves, right? The Jets are trying to make big moves.
We tried to get him.
They're trying. Trying isn't doing, though, unfortunately. The Miami Dolphins are doing more than they are trying. So,
yes, they are.
Malcolm Butler going back to the Patriots.
Yes.
After that huge interception in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then after not being allowed to play, and the Eagles won. Remember that was so he was the hero in the Seattle one, and then for whatever reason didn't get a single snap in the Eagles one. I guess he, whether it be money or something, he feels on good terms with Bill Belichick going back. Von Miller signs, what was that, another $100 million contract with the Buffalo Bills.
Another one. Which is huge for them. I'm very excited about it.
I think the Bills might be the favorite now. They're just...
We got to make a trip to Buffalo just to be a part of the Mafia tailgate.
The tailgate?
Party. I want to get thrown through a table that sets on fire. I want to be Mick Foley for a night.
Yes. And then, so we've been talking about it for a while. It's been a news story for quite a long time. Deshaun Watson, there's still 22 civil cases, so, it's not completely out of the woods in terms of, and there's probably an NFL suspension coming. But on criminal charges, the grand jury found, decided to acquit him. No criminal charges for all 22 cases. So that happened.
It's within 24 hours?
Yeah, within 24
happening?
hours, multiple different. I think it was maybe like 36
Coming
total.
in hot.
The largest contract guaranteed money, it was $230 million. The Cleveland Browns, not only they traded draft picks to Houston to get him, first of all, but then to sign him, $230 million, all guaranteed. It is the largest fully guaranteed contract in the history of football. I know as a baseball fan, you're like, what, 230? Mike Trout got $300 million, all these people guaranteed. But for the NFL, guaranteed contracts are still a relatively new thing. And, because they're not playing for a year, still have 22 civil cases of, sexual assault and sexual harassment, but get $230 million. And then Baker's out. Baker demands a trade to the Colts. Colts say, nope, we'll take Matt Ryan. And he goes, okay. New Orleans re-signs Jameis Winston. Carolina goes we'll give Sam Darnold a try again. And just all these teams. Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky. So Baker Mayfield, 1 year removed from giving Cleveland its first playoff win in, I think, over 25 years. How quickly the tables turn now is, unless Seattle decides to give it to him, but they have Drew Lock and they're in rebuild mode. He's not going to be a starter next year, which is crazy how quickly the tables turn.
I mean, within 24 hours, I think this would have been this wouldn't have been a huge deal if it was one massage therapist, right? But it wasn't one.
22.
It wasn't 2. It wasn't 3. It wasn't 4. It wasn't 5. It wasn't 6. It wasn't 7. It wasn't 8. 22. 22.
That's a lot of civil cases. I mean,
I don't think 22 people are wrong.
No, and it's hard, and that's the thing where I'm not sure about this because it's one we got again civil. Criminal just means there wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt. Civil, you can still he might settle in the civil cases now, but there's still a chance that they take the civils, go to trial, and if he's guilty, that's a huge PR nightmare. And the NFL, I mean, with all these cases and all the other stuff, he's probably still going to service, he's probably still going to be out 8 games. So the Browns are probably still not, this is a future move for the Browns because the Browns are probably not going to play with, I mean, just crazy stuff. All these different free agency moves. Is there any, I mean, Russell Wilson, I think we talked about that last time, but are there any big moves in particular that make you move one team okay, this team is now closer to winning the Super Bowl, or this team is no, they don't have a shot this year? Because in my opinion, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs have a chance this year. Long term, they have draft picks. No. Draft picks, I think it was a good long-term move because they got a bunch of draft picks. They'll be able to draft young receivers. They'll be fine. The AFC is so loaded. I don't think they have a chance. And honestly, right now,
I think the AFC West will be closer, but I still think they have a shot. I still think
the
they're
division. No, I'm talking
round.
about the Super Bowl. I think they definitely have a shot at winning the division. But right now, my 2 Super Bowl favorites are either the Denver Broncos or the Buffalo Bills right now after all the free agency moves.
I love the Buffalo Bills right now.
Mm-hmm.
Love the Buffalo Bills.
It is wild to see an organization that was so, just almost Jets level bad for so many years after the 90s finally get a good GM and a quarterback and coach, and how quickly, if you get those 3 positions right, everything changes. But yeah, so the bunch of other moves, but those were the big ones we thought of. Obviously, we mentioned Devontae Adams, but
can I make a new Super Bowl prediction? An updated Super Bowl prediction? I think I picked the Bills in the AFC the first time. I think I picked the Cowboys though. I'd like to change that pick.
Okay.
I think there's only one reason and one reason only. Tommy B's coming back, and I think he's like Jeter. Derek Jeter, watching him grow up was a movie. It was a Hollywood script, his career. Tom Brady's the same way in the NFL. I'm going with the Bucks and the Bills. It's going to be another passing of the baton moment. Tom Brady, the veteran, the greatest of all time, against Josh Allen, the future of the NFL.
Wow.
Just like how we saw Brady versus Mahomes. They've played so many great postseason games against one another. We're going to see Brady versus Allen in the Super Bowl for the first time ever.
I don't say I like that prediction, but yeah, so that's all the NFL free agency news we have today. So I will now, before we go to halftime, I'll do the other side.
Before we go to halftime, I do want to give a special shout out to the Peacocks, St. Peter's basketball, men's basketball in the Sweet 16, the NCAA tournament.
That's right. Am I ready for my rant? If you're going to mention St. Peter's, a little out of order what I had planned, but can I go my couch?
Well, again, it is my show, so I'm.
That's fair. No, I'm fair.
I'm adjusting.
If you're going to mention
now you
St.
have
Peter's,
to adjust.
Can I get into my John Calipari rant now?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Floor is yours.
So, Coach John Calipari of Kentucky. I've been told he's supposed to be in the same class as like Coach Izzo and Coach K and all these other amazing all-time great college coaches, right? Oh, he has all these number 1 recruiting classes. And yet, 7 years in a row. No, since the Final Four appearance. Yet he's had Anthony Davis and all these other amazing All-Star top 75 Hall of Fame players, and yet he loses again in the first round. I think it's the third time in the past, 8 years that he hasn't won a single NCAA tournament game. He is just a good recruiter, and he is just a good salesman. Kentucky fans, wake up. Coach John Calipari is a used car salesman, not a basketball head coach. He is a hack comparatively to what his legacy is. Is he still X's and O's, can run circles around a vast majority of programs? Yes. But if you were trying to compete with the Dukes, the Gonzagas, the Baylors, the UNCs, the Arizonas, he will not get you anywhere. Get rid of, I'm calling it right now, #fire Coach Calipari, Coach Calicon. You can continue.
I thought you were going to say the C word there for a second. I'm like, what? Where is he going with this? There's certain things we can't say on this program, man.
I didn't
oh
say
my
it.
God.
I didn't say it. Calm down. Dirty mind there, Jack.
Jeez, my mind was in the gutter for sure on that one. I was getting nervous.
But yeah, congrats to St. Peter's. They also won their next one. Congrats to UNC upsetting Baylor. U of A, barely hometown team, barely making it through TCU, but they're still in it. So Gonzaga struggled for the first rounds, but it's been a pretty interesting, exciting tournament. I'm really curious to see how this Sweet 16 goes. I mean, there's already no perfect brackets between ESPN, FanDuel, and all of them.
Out of all 8 million that I've made, all of them have been
two.
busted already.
One made it to the round of 32 this year. Only one perfect bracket. I mean, there's still people that'll get the Final Four. There's still some people that'll probably get the Elite Eight and still get some money off of it. But nope. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, someone actually was perfect all the way into the Elite Eight, and then I think it was 10 years ago, someone was perfect all the way to the Final Four. But this year, people barely made it out of the first round, and it was Coach Calipari, large part of why most of those brackets busted.
Yep. Only bracket I made, Kentucky and Baylor, both in the Final Four.
Oof.
Smack.
Oof. Yeah, that's a busted-ass bracket.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about baseball. Hank, throw up a baseball picture, and then we will talk about that picture. Ooh, I like this one. Carlos Correa just signed a 3-year deal with the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins are making some big moves, okay? They trade the bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Yankees for Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela, who there's Josh Donaldson, Aaron Judge, and Joey Gallo rocking the pinstripes. You know it's true. They're going to win the AL East. It's going to be very tough. Trevor Story just signed with the Boston Red Sox to be their shortstop. Had his press conference yesterday. It's going to be a big thing, a big switch in the AL East this year for the Yankees and the Red Sox, as well as the Tampa Bay Rays. They're still very much in the mix as well. What else happened? Freddie Freeman signed a deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is huge after the Braves traded for Matt Olson from the Oakland A's at first base. Signed him to an 8-year extension, too, worth over $130 million. A lot's happened. I mean, literally, the last time we had this segment 2 weeks ago, baseball was still in a lockout.
I know.
And now we're back. Spring training's in full force. All these deals are happening. Opening day is April 7th for most teams. Things are happening, Zach. I mean, things are happening in a big way.
Because I mentioned it earlier in the NFL one, but there's all that controversy about money, and obviously I still side with the players. It's still on that thing, but just comparing NFL contracts to just some of the contracts you just named the MLB. Shout out to the Players Union. They've done a great job supporting their players over the past couple of years, and I'm glad a deal was finally reached upon. Obviously, concessions had to be made, but spring training's back. I'm excited for this season. This is the first time in a while, because of the past 2 years of knowing you, that I'm actually probably gonna watch some baseball.
Oh wow! Thanks.
Since the last time I did was 2015. It was when the Giants were really good, and my uncle, biggest Giants fan, San Francisco Giants fan I know, was that odd year run, and that was 2011, 2013, 2015 during that 5-year stretch. And we just got to go to games at AT&T Park. I think that's what, at least it was the Times, what it was called, with him. And it's the first time since then that I've actually been excited about baseball. So thank you, Jack. You got me back in the Swing the thing.
It's always, I mean, every non-baseball fan loves it like the first week, and you're like, all right, that's enough. 159 more games after this first series, that's enough. I'll tune in October.
Is the total number of games decreased, or they just like
no,
push it back?
they're doing 162
Wow.
games, which is crazy that they were able to get a full season
Does spring training get delayed? Like the
spring training is shortened for
Okay.
sure. Opening day was pushed back a week. It was supposed to be March 30th. Now it's April 7th.
Okay.
Yankees and the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Boogie Down on opening day.
Nice.
It's going to be fun, man.
Are you going to go to, there's still any, is Cactus League still having any games? Or are you going to go to any Cactus League?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it'll be fun to see.
I'm a busy guy, Zach. I got a lot going on.
I know you are.
Way too much going on.
Well, that reaches the halfway point, which
I guess so.
Which means it is time for
the Michael Cera halftime report. Cue that Michael Cera, Tommy Wiseau, and Jack White image. Oh my God, 3 doppelgangers looking at each other back to back to back. Look at that.
That's a horrifying image you pulled up.
When was the last time you saw Tommy Wiseau in anything?
Wow, I'm just more stunned that you found that. That's cursed. I hope that picture.
That's cursed?
Yeah.
That haircut perfectly fits the Jack White image.
No, I agree, but
all he's got to do is
can you burn a digital picture? Can you like put a match to a digital picture? Because oh my God.
Do we have a math equation in there, Hank?
A math equation?
Yeah, I think we have a math equation of Michael Cera. It was like Michael Cera plus I think it was Tommy Wiseau.
Wait. So
there's Jesse Eisenberg. You got Michael Middleditch.
Wait, so Jesse Eisenberg plus Michael Cera equals
Michael Middleditch.
Silicon Valley? Really?
His name is Middleditch.
No, he's until he has a role as good as his role in Silicon Valley, he's just gonna be Silicon Valley.
He played Jesse Eisenberg's doppelganger in Zombieland 2.
I never watched.
He's in all the Sprint commercials. How do you not know this guy?
Because he's no longer Sprint. Sprint merged with T-Mobile. I know. I was on Sprint.
He is the most relevant actor in that picture. Okay, let me see.
A little heartbroken, but this will be a bit of a shorter Michael Cera segment because we got some longer ones coming up. Because out now on Hulu, either get a friend's password, get your own account, find a way to
or just
get
don't
on
watch.
There. No, or definitely watch. Don't listen to the hater. Don't listen to this hater over here. The new Michael Cera, Amy Schumer's show, Life and Beth, out now on Hulu starting next week. He delayed it for a week. We were going to review it, but I knew he wouldn't. So we're going to have a watch party. We might stream it on the channel. Who knows? But we're going to watch it together, and we're going to view it next week for you guys here on the Always Bet Jagging segment as we get to see our dear beloved Michael Cera back again, and more news, more production. Believe they will start filming the Wes Anderson film with him and John Goodman by the end of the summer, is what I've been told.
Sounds like a shitload of homework to me.
It's so exciting. It's such good homework though. Think of it as like homework. It was like writing an essay about the Foo Fighters. That's what this homework is. That's what it's like. Anyway, go watch. Go find a friend who has an account. Subscribe yourself. Get your Hulu. Watch Life and Beth with our dear beloved Michael Cera. And that was
the Michael Cera halftime report. Cue out that Michael Cera, Tommy Wiseau, Jack White spitting image, Hank. Love the graphics this week. Can I talk about what's happening, what's going down at AT&T Stadium next Sunday? Sir. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday, April 3rd in Dallas, Texas. WrestleMania 38, the main event, Brock Lesnar taking on Roman Reigns. Was it a unification match for both the WWE title and the Universal title? That's your main event. We got a lot going on. Pat McAfee is wrestling Austin Theory on the card, and in his first match in 2 years since he fought at NXT, the impending return of Cody Rhodes to WWE, the son of the All-American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, ran AEW, was one of the founders of AEW, is jumping ship, has just signed a deal with WWE, rumor has it, gonna face Seth Rollins potentially. Kevin Owens has called out the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're gonna have a segment at WrestleMania. There's a lot gonna happen. RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle, the Raw Tag Team Champions, going into it. Ronda Rousey making her return to the squared circle, taking on Charlotte Flair, the daughter of Ric Flair, the 16-time world champ. They're going to headline WrestleMania Night 1. It's a 2-day event. All right, night 1 Saturday. The second night 2 is Sunday, April 3rd. Edge is going to take on AJ Styles. in a dream match for most wrestling fans that we never thought we were going to see because Edge had to retire for 10 years there. Took a decade off due to a neck injury. Was able to fight his way back. He's going to fight the phenomenal one at WrestleMania. It's a stacked card. Not going to lie. I am dying to hear your opinions.
Wow. One, did not know Ric Flair had a daughter competing in, so that's hype. And two, this will be my olive branch. I will watch this WrestleMania if you watch Life and Beth. There we go.
That's a fair deal. That's a fair deal. You got to come over for it, though.
Okay, no, I'm down. We're down. We obviously we can't stream the event, but let's live stream my reaction. My first WWE event. This is the first time at WWE event I'd ever watched.
See, that's where you're wrong. I'm just gonna put my phone up on a tripod, and we're gonna get all the reactions.
No, I'm saying
the Undertaker is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as well. I almost forgot about that. I would have never forgiven myself if I didn't say that. Vince McMahon, for the first time ever, is inducting someone into the WWE Hall of Fame, and it's gonna be the Undertaker.
I'm glad you're happy, Jack.
Logan Paul is going to team up with The Miz to take on the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic Mysterio.
Why? Why is the one Paul brother that actually is kind of okay at fighting going into WWE, and the one that's actually a hack actually still doing boxing? I know why. I know it's money, Robin, but it hurts. I'm a Jewish man that's saying it hurts. That's how you know it's real bad. All right. Do you want to talk about?
Let's run down the card just so everybody has it in their brains. All right. Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Title. That's main eventing WrestleMania Night 1 on April 2nd. Bianca Belair taking on Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Title. That's also on Saturday. We got Logan Paul and The Miz versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Baron Corbin. Kevin Owens hosting the KO show with WWE Hall of Famer The Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then Sunday you got Lesnar versus Reigns. You got Randy Orton and Riddle, RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy and the Street Profits, a triple threat for the Raw Tag Team titles. Johnny Knoxville taking on Sami Zayn in a celebrity match. The head of Jackass there, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, and then Edge versus AJ Styles. More confirmed matches to come. Again, Cody Rhodes' impending return to WWE for the first time in 6 years might happen, it might not happen on April 3rd. But that is the WrestleMania card. A lot to be excited about. And, of course, The Undertaker, one of the greatest, if not the greatest professional wrestler ever, being inducted into the Hall of Fame by Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
His middle name's Kennedy?
VKM.
Wow.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
That is
the chairman of the board.
All right, so we have 2 segments left. Do you want to talk about UFC first, or do you want me to go into NBA first? I'll let you decide.
You can. I just rambled. You can ramble about your shtick.
NBA basketball. We are so close to the playoffs. I am excited. So, time to get off cool news, but news about irrelevant teams. One, LeBron James still has it. In his return to Cleveland since the All-Star break, scored 38 points at age 39 and had a posterizing dunk on his old teammate and friend Kevin Love. I don't know why Kevin Love thought he was going to be able to take the charge, but he complete like poster, just like absolutely dominating, destructive dunk, like groin in Kevin Love's face. I feel so bad for Kevin Love. Like LeBron, they're friends. He didn't want to do it to him, but there. Also passes Karl Malone to become second all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Now only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is ahead of him, but the Lakers still suck, so they are irrelevant. So we won't talk about them anymore. But right now, the Phoenix Suns have clinched the Pacific Division and are guaranteed a top 2 seed in the West and are 9 games ahead of the Memphis Grizzlies, but I believe only 10 games left to go. So pretty much locked up the 1 seed in the West. Miami Heat, 2.5 games ahead of both. I think it's a 3-way tie for second in the East between the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Boston Celtics, who Jason Tatum has been playing out of his mind since the All-Star break, looking like a top 10 player. So pretty stacked on both sides. Eastern Conference for the first time in a while. It looks like the more competitive conference. Obviously, we'll wait 2-3 weeks till the playoffs are decided, till the play-in games happen to give our formal predictions. But I'm feeling pretty good about both my teams, the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat, making the NBA Finals. I'm not necessarily predicting that yet.
Do you have multiple teams in every sport? Like just in case you have a team to fall back on?
Okay.
The best of the best don't have a plan B, Robin. The best of the best don't have a fallback plan in case plan A fails.
Robin,
you either succeed or you fail. There's no in between.
Okay, Robin, you probably wouldn't might not get this because I've talked to older Arizona fans and this is not the case. But at least like Arizona fans between like my age and like age 35, it's like you have your Arizona team and then your team that you root for in the other conference because Arizona most of the time would disappoint. So you have your Arizona team that is your number one, your local team, but then you're like, okay, most of the years we're going to suck and I still want to enjoy the sport. So you pick a team in the other conference. Like that's why Jets, I didn't pick Giants because they're NFC. So I picked an AFC team in the Jets. Miami, I picked an Eastern Conference team. They got all these different ones. So that you're
not helping your argument at all. That just goes to show that you have
I can bring
B
like my
and
entire
plan C.
almost my entire high school in Arizona, and they will attest to this. Robin, help me out a little bit with this.
Okay, let's just call this what it is. Think about your fantasy sports leagues, right? You can bring players from every different team to build your own team. So why can't you have two teams that you follow and favor?
Thank you. And sorry, not everyone's from New Jersey and got to root for the Yankees. Got to root for the people that stack the deck in a no-salary cap
I've only
league.
really seen them win one World Series in my
That's
lifetime.
just how bad they are. In a no-salary cap league where they're the biggest market and the most money to spend, them and the Dodgers, they're so overrated. And don't get me started on how the Dodgers and Yankees are the most overrated franchises ever because of the lack of a salary cap and they just spend money on players. But anyway, in a real league with a real, at least soft cap in the NBA, exciting stuff coming up. Once the play-in starts, we will give our predictions of the play-in games. And then once the formal seeding in the playoffs is, we will give our playoff predictions and go over coverage on that. But I'm really very, very much excited for the NBA playoffs after the first full season in 2 years because it was a shortened season last year. So I'm very, very excited.
Good for you.
That hurt? Did you hear the truth about your Yankees? You look hurt. You hear the truth.
Do I look red to you? I sat out at a pool this weekend.
The Yankees are going to be red
like a lobster. That's why.
The Yankees are going to be red when the Boston Red Sox win that division.
Yeah, maybe so.
All right.
Beat us in the playoffs last year.
Finish us off.
Hey, I want to talk about something that just broke.
Oh, new
UFC's. We're going to talk about UFC, right? Got a big fight this weekend. The most infamous star in the Ultimate Fighting Championship,
way.
Conor McGregor, has reportedly been arrested for dangerous driving in Dublin, Ireland, and he had his $250,000 Bentley seized. Your thoughts, Zach?
This
is what happens when TMZ throws microphones in celebrities' faces. Are we supposed
to be surprised? I mean, he like beat up like a friend, someone who apparently was his friend. I believe it was in I can't remember if it was England, Italy, or if it was in his hometown in Ireland. But a club owner, because he was trying to talk with Bella Thorne. He was trying to hang with her, and then she left early, and he was mad at the club owner for her just leaving early and started punching him, who was his friend. How many stories do we have to hear? He called Dustin Poirier's wife a whore. Like, how many times did we have to see him tell us what people tell you who they are? Same thing, Baker Mayfield, obviously to a way less extent, like not nearly as severe, but, grabbing his crotch, being bad at the senior day, calling this well-renowned female reporter in Mary Kay Cabot in Cleveland, calling her a hack and, or targeting the only female reporter that's been with the Cleveland Browns for 20 years. People tell you who they are. So I don't want people to be surprised. I don't want people to be upset. This is the reason you rooted for him. But now he's past his prime. He's been proven there. Just let him. He's got his money. He's got what he's got his He's his liquor company. Thank you. Just let him go off into the shadows. I have always been someone that appreciates, even though I don't necessarily agree with all of his views. Why am I blanking? Russian. Same division as Conor. Khabib, yes.
Nurmagomedov?
Yeah, Madoff. I mean, he still lives in the same...
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov.
No, Nurmagomedov.
How? Okay, I see.
Say it.
Nurmagomedov.
There you go.
Okay.
You may continue.
He still lives in the same village, the same home he grew up in. He still doesn't have Wi-Fi. He still doesn't have a telephone. He uses most of the money to travel the world and do charity. And believe me, he is a very ultra-religious man. There's some things I don't agree with him, but he's a man of character and quality, and that's who I think the UFC fans should root for. So no, I'm not surprised, and I'm not upset that this news came out about the Notorious.
Say what you want about him, though. Like, he keeps getting in trouble. I mean, when he fought Khabib and I was like trashing the bus and like hurting people throwing chairs.
He almost
at the
hurt his
bus.
wife,
Yeah,
pregnant wife.
the
at the time, I
guy's
believe.
an anomaly at this point. He can do no wrong. Like, he can get away with all of this stuff. Dana's still gonna put him on the card, even though Dana will like publicly be like, "Oh, I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe Conor would do this."
He
always brings him back. He always brings him back because he's an anomaly. He brings in fans, he brings in tickets, he brings in revenue.
And I have no problem with people like trash talking. I mean, you know, friend of yours, you know, Justin Gaethje, you know, I'm okay with, you know, but like there's a difference between inside the ring and outside the ring. I'm okay with trash talk. I'm okay with that boisterous personality. So I'm really, yeah, I'm done. You just got into the rest of the UFC. I don't want to talk about that man anymore.
I mean, I think he's going to fight Kamaru Usman for the title next, Conor. I think he's going to leapfrog in either that or the Poirier fight, which makes perfect sense at this point, given that Poirier is not in line for a lightweight title anytime soon.
I hope he goes out on a stretcher. God, why?
I'm going to let you swing your mood here and talk about the fight this weekend.
No,
right?
you go. I need a minute.
You need a minute. Come on, be a professional, Zach. That's ridiculous. You're like a child. Before we came on the air, Robin was saying that we were men. We're
No.
I'm a man.
As I said, we're 1.5 men. There's 2.5 men. Oh, you're just gonna do the whole thing. Okay. This might get us copyright from YouTube. I'd be careful about this one, buddy.
Men. I can't believe you stopped. You're the one that wanted to do it. Just talk about the UFC.
No,
fight. Now I'm not in the mood. You see what you did?
You're the one that
stupid
has the
son of a
information in
bitch.
front of you, like
You
the times,
stupid
dates.
son of a bitch. Yeah, we got fight night coming up. Blades
What
is taking
number is
on
this?
Dawkins.
Right now.
We got 273 next week on April 9th, or 2 weekends from now in Jacksonville. And then, of course, the big one, 274 Gaethje versus Oliveira here in Phoenix at Footprint Center in May, which is the one I'm excited for.
I'm so excited. I'd say we there's a slight chance, but we might actually be attending that fight. So we may actually have some O-show coverage of our experience. At
Don't
that
jump
fight.
the gun, all right?
I said maybe.
I
said
think you
slight.
just jinxed us.
I said slight, but no, that's the fight I'm really excited for. Obviously, some of the title fights coming up in Jacksonville are exciting, but that Gaethje Oliveira fight is the big one to look
Then we got
forward to.
Volkanovski versus Zombie, I think.
The Korean Zombie, yes.
Is 273, right?
Yeah, I hope the Korean Zombie. I mean, he is. I love when, you know, I think one of the best parts about the UFC over boxing, I mean, there's a lot of things that UFC has done better over than boxing over the years, but then just how international that UFC has become. Obviously, boxing, there's a lot of things, but it's a lot of, you know, Central America, South America, like sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, like, how many different countries, ethnicities, and backgrounds and, like, upbringings are just represented in the UFC. And, you know, I think it would be awesome to see someone from, you know, the Southeast Asia and that's in the Korean Zombie like take it out, and he's been incredibly fun to watch. So I'm picking him. I so want him to win. I might actually put my money where my mouth is. I might actually take the line. on that one. It has been a while since I've actually put significant money on a fight, but I don't even know if I necessarily think he's gonna win, but I want it. So I'm just gonna put the money into the ether and let hopefully the Korean Zombie can do it. Your thoughts on any of those fights?
It's going to be a fun fight. Peter Yan's on that card, too. It's looking like Henry Cejudo is going to return, be in his corner. Sugar O'Malley is going to be in his corner as well. He's definitely going to be fighting at the Footprint Center at 274. Yes. His last fight was last summer.
Yes,
so
it was.
That
was a crazy fight because he was like huge favorite because who he was originally supposed to fight got called out like either like medical issue or something, and he fought this one guy like completely unranked, and I think he landed it was over 100 head punches, but this guy wouldn't go down. I remember the last O'Malley fight was crazy. Like O'Malley was tired, but he won the fight by a wide margin. Like I think it was like 10 seconds left, cancellation like TKO in the third round. But that was a wild fight because O'Malley just boom, 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 and you know how good of a striker he is. But I'm so sorry that I'm forgetting his name, but just this one kid, came up first UFC fight, on a last week notice, takes 100 punches from O'Malley and, and standing. I mean, it was TKO. He didn't get to go to decision, but the fact that he still ended the fight standing was incredible. But, we saw how bloodied up he was, so I'm excited to see O'Malley with that. Matino, thank you. I hope he gets
He
another
put up a great fight. I think Dana always said that that fight should have stopped a lot earlier, but for the shots that he took for him to stay in there.
And he did an interview with, Pat Mack and other people like a couple weeks after. He didn't look like all the medical information coming out saying that brain damage, no signs of minor concussion, stuff like that, but nothing super serious. So obviously he needs to work on, his defense clearly. I mean, Sean O'Malley is a great striker. Don't get me wrong, but you take 100, headshots, not just, I think it was almost 200, 178 hits shots total. You got to work on your defense, but with someone with an iron jaw like that, I hope he gets a fight as well. But yeah, hometown boy, Sean O'Malley.
Who I hope gets a fight?
Who?
Everybody looks at Conor McGregor as the face of the UFC, brings in the most tickets. Who's going to be the next big personality, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think Sean O'Malley could be that guy, right? With his track record, the way he's fought, the way he's picked up wins. Another one, though, is the pride of London, England, baby, of the UFC, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Drew over 1.3 million views on social media in his fight recently for the UFC. He's up and coming. He's young. He's brash. He's charismatic. Bit of a douchebag, but I like it. It works.
Is he right now?
It works. He is also, I think, in the lightweight.
Wow.
Lightweight or featherweight.
Both those divisions are stacked in the UFC right now.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Crazy. Yeah, that'll be exciting. Like I said, I'm excited to see O'Malley. Hopefully, that Oliveira Gaethje fight is looking forward to, and then I'm making a decision now. I'm putting at least 20 on the Korean Zombie. I want to manifest it into reality. But yeah, that's all I have. You can close this out.
Thank you. This was episode 505 of the podcast. Remember, if you want to use betonline.ag, you just got to use that simple promo code. You remember what it is, Zach?
Capital BLEAV 50.
That's it. No, that's it, Hank. You could close it out now.